everyone, welcome to my review of Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man is based off of a manga written by Tatsui Fujimoto. It's been serialized from December 2018 to 2020 in Weekend Jump, and part 2 just started in July of 2022. And that's being serialized in Shonen Jump Plus. These may published for volumes in English. The anime is done by MAP Studios, who also did Jujutsu Kaisen, which we have reviewed both Jujutsu Kaisen Season 1 and Jujutsu Kaisen 0 on this channel. And the anime is what we'll be reviewing today. I don't know much about the manga, never read it. And this really is a blind. What's with me and MAP? It's MAP Studios I'm doing the blind reviews for. Don't know why, but just finds up. But, I mean, after I watched Chainsaw Man seasonally, I was like, okay. Like, every episode, every week. I was like, okay. Okay. So, I want to make a review of this. I know I was talking about it on stream. If you follow my streams during when Chainsaw Man was airing, but it's I'm not sure if I'm gonna do this. I don't want to set up a precedent of me reviewing something that just came out. Don't want to do that. But at the same time, I only want to talk about the series. But I decided to rewatch Chainsaw Man before write my review, so I can understand fully. Hey, this is my thoughts truly, is what I think, and get a good review down instead of just going for week by week. I think it's better for reviews to binge, write, and then do it and post by week. That's just my personal feelings, but this is gonna come from the perspective of both experiencing over week by week and then binge. So two types of experience, but going to get in before I knew nothing of how Chainsaw Man was going to turn out because I never read the manga. Was fully blind. But with that being said, before we get into the review itself, as per usual, even though I really haven't done this in a bit, I like to go over some of the voice actors of the show. That I'm reviewing. I like to give credit for that because all these shows have very talented voice actors, and we deserve voice actors deserve to have that light shown on them. And if they have another role that I have, or from something I've seen, I would mention it. Also, but with that being said, let's start with Denji, who is played by Saki Toya. According to my anime list, this is his first role in anime. So, first of all, congratulations for laying a big role for your first role, and I look forward to see what other works you do in the future. First show, Aki, which there will be zero jokes, 100% zero jokes about how he shares a name with my favorite character from Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D. Absolutely none. So anyways, Aki is played by Shiguro Sakakaya, who also played Leviathan and Majestic from My Hero Academia, and Saki Kuin from Fire Force. Pyro is played by Ari Ferrazuri, who also played Hibai Sakura from How Have You Ever Done Buzz You Live, and Nala Star from Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Watch. Lastly, there's Makima, who's played by Mori Kusanku, who also plays Woman Kirishima from Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, and Ravana Kirishima from Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Watch. So I would be going over episode by episode. Even though I feel like because I feel like a lot of these episodes are like mini arcs type stuff, and I could group them together. But since it's only like 12 episodes I'm going over, I'm just going episode by episode with my reviews. So episode 1, we see our main character Denji. He's about to open a door, but that was a dream. That was a dream. Denji talks about how he sells some if he his body parts to make some money because he has a lot of debt. Like he sold his eye, he sold his nut. I mean, you know when a man sell his nuts, he's a desperate man. He's a dog chainsaw devil thing named Pucha. Denji kills devils for money. An old man, he works for like an old man that's like a yakuza. And we see like he goes like, oh, here's like 400 yen, but due to taxes, fees, and blah 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 blah, it only leaves you with 70,000 yen. And then Denji has to pay taxes, bills for that, so it's like not a lot of money left for food. Denji took on his father's debt after he died. Denji's dream, the great dream of to score the goal before he dies. And then we kind of learn later on that Denji's dad killed himself. Denji and Pucha became friends after Denji saved Pucha from dying by giving him some of his blood. Denji caught up blood just like his mother did, although it was due to a heart disease that took her life. Denji goes on a devil hunt, and Denji gets betrayed after the old man made a deal with the zombie devil, and that makes the old man turn to a zombie, who will fought, asking the zombie devil for power, turning into a walking dead. Well, fun. The zombie army kills Denji and Pucha. Pucha, after getting some of Denji's blood in his mouth, fused with Denji by becoming like Denji's heart. Denji now can grow like 3 chainsaws out of his body, like arms, head. Denji kills the devils of a devil demon, and then we see like 3 people kind of like walk up to see like Denji our chainsaw up, and there's like this girl with red hair that hugs Denji after Denji asks for it. And, like that chainsaws him and melts away the chainsaws. The people are devil hunters from public sector, and we give Denji, well, an ultimatum, let's call it how it is. You be killed here as a devil, or you can come work with us as a human being. Lovely people. I think this first episode does this job very well. For the first episode, I think it does give you interest in the world of Chainsaw Man, with more of the character of Denji, and seeing how like Pucci fused with Denji to become like the Chainsaw Man, and seeing like the journey. I think that's a good first step by getting it. I think the interest is in that. Well, the interest again is some people might think of the world and all this stuff like that. I think that's a very good first step. Now, the redheaded girl, which we will find out the name is Makina. This introduction is awesome for her, and I will talk a lot more about her, 100%. But it's like she acts sweet with a hug, but she just gets Denji without any prompt or anything. It's like, here's an ultimatum, you die or B, you work with me. And really, if you're trying to be sweet and whatnot, but you're not just gonna be like, look, do what I want when you fucking die. You don't do that. You don't do that. So, again, we get more into it, but it's like the taste, truly, honestly. Episode 2, start with Magna wanting Denji to be like her dog, and gets answers either yes or woof woof.
Woof woof, you'll say, as you roll over at this fetching ARF venture.
Because, what's the point of a dog if say no? And if if you're saying no, you get treated like, oh, yellow, taking that back, and boom boom. Denji likes Magna because she's the first person to ever treat him well. After going for a train, so Denji loses a lot of blood. Magna says that Pucha is still alive inside of him because she can smell Pucha. And Denji passes out, and when he wakes up, he gets Magna to feed him some noodles. Magna says Denji asks her, what kind of guy you into? And she goes I'm into Denji. And Denji's hook his finger a bit. You can see by Denji thinks he's in control of the situation, but Magna, she is playing all of the 4D chess with him, and she's in control. So, Denji agrees to work with Magna. And Magna gets him all uniformed up. And this is where we meet Aki, who has been in public sex for 3 years, and Denji will be showering him. Magna promises if Denji does a good enough job one day, he might be able to work with him. Aki beats up Denji because people without real motivation die on this job. And Denji, one of his dreams for a better life, and he's kind of already gotten that, but he's got the taste of it. So he already kind of achieved his goal a bit. And really, he's just kind of chasing after Magna at this point. And apparently, chasing after goal isn't real motivation. Denji comes up from behind with a nut shot. Denji says if he can keep up the kind of life that Magna shows him, he doesn't care what costs him life. There's a tussle. Aki fights back. Magna puts Denji on Aki's team after they both say they can't work together. If Denji tries to resign or becomes insubordinate, he would be killed. Denji is going to live with Aki. Magna apparently saved Aki's life and is shocked to hear, and Aki is shocked to hear that Denji got a hug from him. Denji's not the best house guest because he really wasn't taught manners, which in the traditional sense, obviously you can tell from the first episode all he's been treated as is a killing machine, means to the ends here. So he really wasn't trained on the traditional sense of manners and stuff like that. Denji and Aki are going to fight a fiend. A fiend is where a devil takes over a corpse. Aki wants Denji to transform, but he doesn't want to kill the family with a chainsaw because he wants it to be painless. This upsets Aki. He goes my family was killed by devils. These police officers want to protect their family from devils. Don't show them any sympathy. But in reality, Denji just wants the porno mags on the ground, but he didn't want to get any blood on them because you don't want to ruin them. Come on, man, it's some porno mags. You don't want to ruin the porno. Denji wants to touch Magna's boobies. That's his new goal. Touch boobies. Denji gets a partner that is a fiend by the name of Power. Power can use blood to make weapons and one-shot the Sea Cucumber Devil. I think this is a good second episode and introduce 2 new characters within Power and Aki. And I think that Power and Aki are good characters to have for Denji, because Denji is really in the middle between these two. Denji is a reactionary, as we will see later on. He reacts to things. He doesn't really set anything in motion. Things happen around him, and he reacts to that. Power is gun-ho, loud, obnoxious, and rude. And Aki is more of an uptight, prim proper type that has a lot of emotions. And again, compared to Power, who seems to not really care about much. in terms of a lot of things, especially humans. But like Denji's kind of in the middle of those two. So to compare it to Naruto, because we've been reviewing that. Let's just, I know these might not be the best comparisons to these characters' personalities. One I think is dead on, with how the story is going, and Valer would discuss it. It's kind of like if Power was Naruto, Akira Sasuke, and Denji is Sakura. They're all kind of balance each other out. One is supposed to be in the middle of the two, and the two are supposed to be extreme. It's just that in this case, our main character is kind of in the middle of a trio. And it's a nice setup, but a nice dynamic they have going on, but we don't see much of a dynamic later on too, which is kind of disappointing, because it is a nice dynamic setup. But I mean, that's less about this episode and more the fact of what happens later on. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself, but since we are talking about the character dynamic, the introduction of these characters and what we do to the story, so I'm mentioning here. Episode 3. Power killed a devil hunter's devil, which was the sea cucumber devil. She could be arrested for that because she got away with her business. You don't want to steal business from other people's business. It's not like the episodes of, SpongeBob when Plankton is trying to steal the Krusty Krab formula so he can steal business from Mr. Krabs. It's my secret formula. Anyways, Power tries to blame Denji for her actions, and Power clearly feels Machina. Look, this is signs that Machina is something. It's just something. Well, she's just that good. What she, Power shows no fear so far. The fact that, Power has her, Machina has power, back down submissive, that something is up. That's not how Power acts to stuff. And to people in general. Power mentions how a devil has her pet, Meowing, and which is a cute little cat. And Machina got to her before she could get her pet back. Power says that she let Denji touch her boobs if Denji helps get Meowing back. Power knows where the devil has her cat. The more people that feel a devil, the stronger it gets. So, the object is based on. So, for example, let's go back to episode 1. We got the tomato devil. But if everyone feels tomatoes, that devil will be number 1. But if no one feels tomatoes, I'm putting you on my sandwich, then it'd be a weak devil. Yeah, so watch out, Yuma. I know how much you hate tomatoes until the end of that episode. But before you hated it. Man, Sexo was a trip. A good trip, but it was a trip sometimes. Denji knows that something was off, but Power knocks out Denji. Power is giving Denji to the Bat Devil to eat because the Bat Devil has her pet Kamiari. The Bat Devil got her and needs human blood to heal. The Bat Devil swallows more to punish Power for bringing him a human with bad tasting blood. You asked for blood, you got picky about it. I mean, I'm picky on myself, but that's not the fucking point. The point is, you got what you asked for, man. And then we get flashbacks of Power and Meowing bonding. The Bat Devil swallows Power too. Denji drinks some of the Bat Devil's blood and then whips out a chainsaw. Then a really well animated fight scene happens. We see Denji wrestling people, and then he forces a call with still a male in it because he's I don't care because you're a guy, because you have a dick. You know, if you didn't have a dick, this situation would not happen, but I'm informing you while you're still on this call. And Denji kills the Bat Devil. This episode's fine. It's cool to see Denji's always sang out to get his new goal of touching boobs in motion. I'm really not the biggest fan. I know I say like the setup of a dynamic between Power and Aki, and Denji is good. I should have said good on paper. See, it's so good on paper, it's making me hit my computer. Because Power is okay. I'm not. Power does nothing for me as a character. I appreciate her character a bit more during my second rewatch, but still not fully fair. And it feels a bit weird that like we did focus on Aki a bit, but we were putting more focus on Power, which is the second character introduced. Because Aki didn't get that full episode. It did a bit, but like it was more like half of that episode, and then like now Power is like the focus of this episode. So it's like a bit. I won't say a bit weird because you can focus on whoever you want, but I want to know more about Aki, and then it's like he was Power, which again it might just due to my personal not personal bias of not being the biggest fan of Power. So there's that factor in it. But other than that, I mean, the fight scene is spoiler. Like, I cannot stress that enough. I don't know what kind of money, I don't know how, because I'm pretty sure, like, Studio Map got so many studios to help out with this anime, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I saw about it somewhere. Might be talking out of my ass. But at some points, this anime looks like a movie. In, like, the high production sense. And sometimes that could be jarring, because some episodes don't look like that, but still look good. Like, it's not like, oh, anything looks bad. No, nothing in this anime looks bad. Just some has that, like chef's kiss, like, nicely tucked into bed. Like, this is awesome. Actually, fuck this. But sometimes this show looks better than, like, high production movies. With this animation. Like, they were really trying to make this anime look good, and that a bit shit is appreciated. And this is one of those episodes. This one episode that I was seeing high praises about how it looks when we get to it, but I think episode 3 it gets that stamp. And also, the next episode we talk about, which is episode 4, also gets that stamp. But also, going back to Power a bit, I do think her simple motivation of like, oh, she seems to not care about humans, but she bonded and care about this cat. Minari, it's nice to see like that connection there and all that stuff. So, moving on to episode 4 again. I was saying the animation looks great with this. Like, really good. But before I fanboy out, let's talk about it. Episode 4, Power Minari is still alive. Denji tells her that she just saved for the sake of touching the boobies, but Umpai. Denji is about to touch some milk bags with the Leech Devil attacks because she's upset because she was dating the Bat Devil. Denji can't go fully chainsaw because he doesn't have enough blood in his system. And Power can't move. Power's amazed how hard Denji's fighting in order to touch the breast. Denji loses after a great fight. Again, the fight scene between Denji and the Leech Devil, well choreographed, well animated. And then we see like Aki saves the day by summoning the Fox Devil. We meet Himeno Kobeni and Hirokazu. They're all devil hunters. We really don't talk much in this episode, but we just see their faces, really. Devil hunters form contracts with devils to fight other devils. In this case, Aki offers his arm as food for for the Fox Devil to come out and nom 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 on some things. Denji's trying to cover for Power for trying to kill him. Aki says he will let aside if Denji listens to Akimo. Power is free of all charges, but Aki makes sure to let her know that they're just using her to kill some fucking devils. And we see like more of like Aki's uptightness by the fact that he fixes his own uniform a bit, makes sure it's like prim and proper before like going in to see Magna. And Magna points out, which I really don't see that yet. Later on, I do see what she's talking about. But I still think Aki's a uptight. Magna says he's less uptight. Again, really don't see it. Because he just, like, you know, fixed his uniform to be like, oh, I gotta make sure it's perfect. And then you throw that statement out there where it kind of contradicts each other. That's nitpicking a bit. But, I do agree with her statement more later on. And, she wonders if him becoming less uptight because of Denji. Denji and Aki seem to have gotten used to living to each other, but here comes Power to throw off that balance. Power has like no manners at all. Then, Power is letting Denji touch her boobs for 3 squeezes. This episode is good. Again, excellent fight scene and all that stuff. But like actually, other than that, I have no really thoughts on this episode. I mean, we get a bit more of like Harvest Warriors and stuff like that. But other than that, this episode's it's just okay. It's just, you know, it was a visual delight for the eyes. And that's kind of it. Episode 5, as Denji was touching boobs, we learned that Power had booby pads. Denji thought there would be more to touching boobs, and this destroys him. This destroys the man. But the fact that touching the boobies was as great as he thought it was. Denji tells Magna about his booby problem. And she says that she thinks that the better you know someone, the better sex is. And then Magna bites Denji's things and let him touch her boobs. And Denji's like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever! And this is like one of 2 instances about like Denji does something. It's not that great, like touching Power's boobies. But as soon as he touches Magna's, it's like, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. And I think that it kind of shows Denji, or teaches Denji, hey, Magna, this lady that gave me this ultimatum, it's like she can offer me things that no one else can, or it does it better than everyone else can. And she says she wants Denji to beat the Gun Devil that appeared in America 13 years ago. Right now it says if Denji kills the Gun Devil, he gets anything he wants, even sex. Also, Denji refers to himself as Your Denji to Magna. Just shows that how she has him wrapped around his fingers. Not 9/11 was the day that the Gun Devil appeared. The Gun Devil killed Aki's family, and like the Gun Devil in under 5 minutes killed 1.2 million people across the world, and have been seen since. To find the Gun Devil, you need to find its flesh, and if you get like enough of its flesh, like it would punch you in the right direction. And like devils will eat the Gun Devil's flesh to get stronger. Aki, Denji, Power, Himeno, Kobono, and Hirokazu all go to kill a devil that has eaten some Gun Devil flesh in a hotel. Aki is using gum to train Power and Denji to have more manners. Himeno says whoever kills the devil will get a kiss from home. Denji wants a kiss from Magna, but when Himeno ups the ante, they're saying this would be a kiss with tongue, Denji's hook, line, and single. We learned that supposedly Konoha is skilled but timid. Hirokazu doesn't have skills, so has gotten home. And in the flashback, we see Himeno, me and Aki have a grace for past pornos, saying that we died because we were useless. Back in the current day, Himeno's devil is the Ghost Devil, which by giving up her eye, she can use the Ghost Devil's right hand to help power or kill a devil. We learn that they're trapped on the 8th floor. They can't leave, they can't do anything to escape, they just loop back to where they are. Like, no matter if they go through, like, stairs to go down, elevators not working, use for floor planners to try to go up, down, to the window, doesn't work. This episode is good. It sets up like a bar up, so typically we get to know more about characters and stuff like that. And we get a little we kind of learn what the goal is now. Denji's goes to kill the gun devil because he wants that sweet, sweet hot sex. Which I'm kind of thinking about. Denji is underage. Magna's grooming you, Denji. Really is. She's dangling what you want. She knows what you want. She knows you want sex. And she knows you want it now. So she's dangling in front of you, man. To get what she wants. But, moving on to episode 6. When there's no escape, you can't leave. But, like, we discussed, a devil's powers are released when they do die, so it can't be, like, a dying ghost type stuff. From the devil that power kill. Konoha, options because, she was forced to get a job, because her parents wanted to send her brother to college, was to be a sex worker or a devil hunter. Not really good options. The clock isn't moving, so time isn't moving, so no one will come to looking for them. Aki's looking for the devil. Denji went to sleep. Kabini and Hirokazu are freaking out, and Power is going for Nobel Prize to become Prime Minister. Hiro got Aki to start smoking back in the past, and we also get shown a little flashback that Aki cares about Hiro by putting a gum on her dead partner's girlfriend who slapped Hiro. Now back in the present, the devil that had Vic killed earlier isn't dead and got a bit bigger. This devil wants Denji's heart, and Konoha tries to kill Denji, but Himeno's stops her. Now, to really give my thoughts on Kamini, I find her annoying. Now, it's not because of the voice actor. The voice actor does a fantastic job in this world. It's the character trope of just the way, think Gohan. Kid Gohan from the Saiyan Saga, specifically from the Saiyan Saga. I find him annoying though, because I understand why you'd be freaking out, you don't want this job, you never wanted this job, you just had sucky options and you picked what you thought would be the last sucky option. Gohan was supposed to fight the Saiyans, and he was whining and all that stuff until he got trained by Mr. Piccolo. Again, understandable. He was 5 foam during that arc. But the whole, because we will see in the future, spoiler, Konoha has skills to kick some ass. I don't like that trope. What's his name? Zensu from Demon Slayer? Also really don't like. I find him annoying. Because, again, he's whining. I understand demons are scary. And that would cause normal people to freak out. Understandable. And people would freak out on various levels. But, again, it's the trouble. They're freaking out, they're really scared, but they're really strong. I'm not the biggest fan of. I do truly find that annoying because they play up for, the annoying, or the whining and stuff like that. To have a good, contradiction with how strong they truly are. And it just doesn't work for me because it's with like Zenzu from my like Demon Slayer, it's like I like you better when you're not awake and kicking ass because you're not talking, really. And when you do talk, it's calm and like it's not complaining. And because when you complain like all the time, it's degrading. It gets annoying, and I just want to not watch you on screen. I want someone else to be on screen. And again, it's not the faults of any voice actors or anything like that. It's just the character trope I'm not the biggest fan of. But Devil's Heart isn't in the group of a body because the gang is in his belly. The devil said it would let everyone go to kill Denji. Pao eats all the food, and so to see to the situation, Konbini is like losing it. So why would still let her have her knife? That seems like the one thing you would take away from her. The devil reveals this for Eternity Devil. Himeno doesn't want Aki to use his soul because it would take years off his life. Now they tried to kill Denji, but Aki saves Denji because Denji wants to kill the Gun Devil. Because like I need all the help I can get. And like we see this cause for Himeno to panic. And this shows Himeno's like really trait. She cares a lot about Aki. And again, she also knows how like woke Denji. Like we see that more later on, but like she likes Aki a lot. And that's like the one good trait she has. Other than that, again, she's manipulative. And just I'm here with her. It does help that she's very cute. But like I'm kind of mad with her. I'm mad with this character. So like I'm giving thoughts on these characters that I think is relevant. And when it's not relevant, my thoughts would not be said until, you know. So yeah, it's just there. But Power is saving Aki by like using her blood powers. And Denji goes full chainsaw as he jumps into the belly of the beast. This episode's fine. I think they could have done more to show these characters interacting in a trap setting, because that's what you have. You have a ball. But I feel like you really didn't show off these characters as much as you could. For two characters, I do think you show off perfectly fine. Well, Kuromini and Himeno. Other than that, really, I mean, I know you have like 7 characters here. 6 characters here to like show and shine and all that stuff. But it'd be nice to like see how like for say Denji will react more in the situation. He really didn't change much, which I guess shows his personality a bit more, and the fact that this kind of unfazed him. What you gonna do? And this unfazed Aki, this unfazed Power, again, it just shows specifically 2 characters, which again, maybe that's all this we need to do. Which is fair, because it did its job to show characters, but again, these are new characters at the same time. So it's like, you gotta show their personality either way. I don't think while it's like a trap, like room situation for a booster of who these characters are or anything like that. I think kind of a setup, like this, the ingenious setup of trapping people in a room to see how they react and get to know them a bit better was a bit wasted. Because again, it's the introductory of new characters that you have here. Young, expanding on characters with already established, which I think is when trap room subs really do shine, because I feel like nothing is really new here to the characters we already have. So this episode's just okay. Just okay. Episode 7. This actually, even though I do think this action scene looks good of Denji like kind of for a Eternal Devil, it's probably like my least favorite action scene, to be honest. But like, it still looks good. But like Denji drinking the blood of Eternal Devil allows him to keep going without like worrying about his chainsaws going back into his body. And we get like a flashback of Himeno trying to get Aki to go private and stop chasing the Gun Devil because she knows she doesn't want him to die. And then we go back to the now. Himeno can help Denji out by using the Ghost Devil. Denji has been at kind up for Eternal Devil for like 3 days. The Eternal Devil just begs for Denji to kill it. They get free. They get a piece of a Gun Devil's flash, and they go to a welcome party for Denji. Kurumini and Hirokazu wants to quit because they're Scale Devils, and they feel bad for trying to kill Denji. Himeno wonders, what exactly is Denji? Like, what is he? Because, he has the cool chainsaw powers and stuff. Everyone is having fun with the drinking party. Denji's trying to get his kiss, and Himeno uses that to get Denji to forgive them for trying to kill him. Magna shows up late. Denji doesn't want Magna to see him kissing Himeno, but he wants that damn tongue kiss. Magna will let Aki know what is the deal with Denji. If Aki can out-drink Ko, he doesn't. And Himeno kisses Denji and then pukes in his mouth. Now, I have not read the manga of Chainsaw Man. I've said that. But after I watched, actually, through the season and stuff like that, and then during my rewatch to write this review, I came across the manga panel of the scene. I think, just based off a single manga part, I think the manga does this scene better because it's uncensored, where it shows the grossness of it, and I think that's important. We get to that next episode why I think that is important. But I'm sure due to TV standards and practices, they had to blow up for puke. But that's what the Blu-ray is for, isn't it? Look at it! Look at it! Look at it! That's the only time we compare this to manga, because again, I haven't read the manga, I don't know contents. Contents is hope puking in his mouth. But again, I would say why that's a point where I think it's relevant. Denji is trying to puke up the puke. So can we talk about how a bunch of grown adults, like a drunk Himeko, picked up an unconscious underage Denji? I'm pretty sure that picked Denji up. You didn't try to be like, wait, that might be a bad situation. Whatever. Denji wakes up and Himeno, who gives him a non-puke kiss. Himeno points out that Denji and Aki both like Magna. Himeno asks Denji if he wants to fuck. This episode is fine. I know what this episode's trying to do. But we get to what this episode's trying to do. Episode 8. Because there's no point of talking about episode 7 without talking about episode 8. Honestly, really, I should have probably grouped those two together. But, we discuss episode 8. By the way, before we even get to episode 8, this is probably the most beautiful anime episode I've ever seen in my life. I'm not joking, I'm not being hyperbolic. This is truly, the most beautiful anime episode I think I've ever seen. Period. So that alone sings my high praises for this episode. But, let's get into, what actually happens in the episode. We get a flashback of a drunk Himeko bringing Denji back to her place. And then we go back to where last episode left off, when Himeko pulls out a lollipop for Denji's pocket. But that lollipop was something given to Makima, to, Denji. Be like, hey, I can make the puke kiss be better, but here's your first indirect kiss. Now it tastes I believe it was coffee flavor. And so, again, that shows that Magma can give something Denji something better than other people can offer. Again, and that goes back to what I was saying in episode 7, where I think it shows for Puke uncensored opponent, because that shows how disgusting it fucking was. Compared to like a nice little wholesome moments, like, true, it was Magna manipulating Denji, but like, strip away that content and seeing it through Denji's eyes, a much better moment. You know, Denji denies Himeno's sexual advances, and Himeno is glad when in the morning that she didn't have sex with an underage kid, while being blackout drunk. Himeno promises to get Denji and Magna together if he helps her with Aki. Himeno says they're now friends. Magna is on her way to Kyoko, and she gets shot a bunch of times. Everyone in public set gets attacked with guns. Now, Pen here, and then I'll pick thoughts. This is shocking for the first time watching this through. And I think the feeling of shock affected my viewpoint of this episode a bit. So again, this is one of those episodes I'm really glad to rewatch. Because mine is, like 2 characters. Actually, mine is 1. Actually, fuck! None of the characters who die I care about. And it's that shock where it's like, oh my god, I can't believe they're killing so much characters. But when we watch it again, it's like, I don't give a shit about any of these characters. Like, there's one that's extremely cute, and I'm upset, but she doesn't have a bigger part of the story. But other than fucking that shallow-ass reason, I don't give a fuck that all these people died. That sounds heartless, I know. But but we cut to a person who happens to be in the same ramen shop as Denji, Power, Himeno, and Aki, who happens to be the grandson of the old Yakuza from episode 1. And the person wants Denji's heart for the Gundam, and he shoots Denji and Himeno. Aki gets the Fox Devil to eat him, but the dude's like the Katana Man, just flips out the Fox Devil's mouth. Basically the Katana Man is like similar to Chainsaw Man, just replace the chainsaws with katanas. Aki uses the sword that shades away at his life and downs Katana Man, but a girl shows up by the name of Sawatawi, and gets the Katana Man up. Katana Man destroys Aki this time around. Himeno gives everything to the Ghost Devil, so the Ghost Devil gives everything to her, and Himeno talks about how Aki cries for his final highlights, and wonders if he would do the same for her as her body disappears and the Katana Man gets pushed back. Saratari summons the Snake Devil to eat the Ghost Devil as Himeno fully disappears. I don't care about Himeno. She's, like I said, she's mad to me. So when you enter, this whole, thing, about, her dying, I don't care. I do not care. The scene was beautiful. Breathtaking. Really well executed, sound design, all that stuff. 10 out of 10. But I just wish I cared about her as a character, because I can't. I just don't. They didn't do enough for me to care or to like her. On anything, so any shape, form, or level, because her death of course get mentioned later on, but I was I was really thinking about why did I like this sacrifice. I was trying to pinpoint in my head. It's because the sacrifice really didn't do much. But I was but then again, let's go with Goku Kaioken against Vegeta. That show pushed Vegeta back, but ultimately, then and Vegeta. So, like, that can't be it. That's not why I dislike this sacrifice. And it's like, well, then I like thought about it more and more. It's like, I just don't like the character. That's it. The emotional core of the scene is the character's perspective and how she feels about Aki. It's shown that she will go to extremes to make sure Aki is okay and alive and well. But but I don't care about her herself. So that's where this falls flat for me. And again, when I say you really can't talk about episode 7 without talking about episode 8, I feel like episode 7 was trying to make you care about all these characters before they die. The public's like cool, so it's just like kind of like, but it failed for me. So I guess I'm a bit heartless. So moving on to episode 9. Power wanders away. He knows Sonic Gammons to activate Denji's chainsaw, which causes him to wake up. Denji's fighting Katana Man is a very fun fight. Denji takes one of Katana Man's allies hostage, but Katana Man cuts them both in half. Katana Man drags Denji off. Hirokazu is dead. It just shows him confirmed to be dead. Even though, like, last episode we just hear the gunshots. Again, no one dying affects me at all. So it's just like, okay, whatever. Magna gets up, seemingly unharmed, after getting shot. Magna says to, Kusu and Tendo, people went in Kyoko for her, but she wasn't shot, and the blood on her wasn't hose. Then it cuts to the gunmen on the train with giant holes in them. Now, Magna, at this point in time for me, has attained what I call the fear of God. That being, I feel like she's on a whole different level. Like, she's inhuman, which, honestly, if this revealed to us that she's a devil, it wouldn't shock me. But then again, if it's like a fiend that has science, like with powerful horns, and the fiend that Denji killed in episode 2 was like a bold man. So, I'm not sure if she actually is a devil, but like, she feels godly. Like, a good comparison would be Frieza before Goku goes Super Saiyan on Namek, and Mara Uchiha from Naruto. Those are two, I have really only two characters I can think of could be compared to this feeling that Magna is currently giving off. Magna wants fake convicts and a tempo. Magna can make people turn to a pool of blood. Lily's like popping a water balloon. Like, you just see like the person just get squished down and just. It reminds me of like what Dumb Ways to Die, when it's like the girl who got like water and a cheap like boobie implant, and it had like water in her boobs and went on like an airplane, and that caused her boobs to like explode. Kind of like that. Honestly, just for her body. But like, Magna was able to do this by like getting the convict to save the person's name, but also kills the convict. Kusa and Tendo aren't allowed to know Magna's devil's contracts, so they're blind for it because they're not had enough wank. And we don't get to see as an audience because that would ruin the surprise. Kumino shows up where Denji is. Kumino survived because Hirokazu protected her. Kumino killed the one who killed Hirokazu. Kumino got moves, like I said. It's like the whole archetype of like complaining a lot, but like really is like a badass. Again, I'm the biggest fan of that archetype. Kind of wish that character archetype would just not be a thing. But that's personal taste and all that stuff, so leave it up to of personal taste, but then again, this is my review, so it's my opinion. So I know a lot of people like her, but like I'm not a fan. And then we see Saratari and Katama get away. Kana says sorry to Denji for trying to kill him and states that she wants to quit for obvious reasons. Magka, the one from Polly with the glasses, quits and wonders if Magna knew if this would happen, but she doesn't answer him because she goes like, you quit, and I can't share that information with the public. This episode's okay. Magna scares me now, and that's probably the best part of this episode. It's like the fact that she terrifies me now. Episode 10, Denji and Pao visits Aki in the hospital. Aki learns that most everyone had died. And because Death lives in Aki's soul, says that he only has 2 years left to live. Which, by the way, built up, oh my god, you can trail your life to use this soap for it to do absolutely nothing. It just kind of feels weird because, like, oh my god, it's a big trade-off. And, like, to kind of build up, it does nothing. Again, it just... tone. Because it doesn't have to do something, but it just feels wrong, but it doesn't. If that makes sense. Aki cries over the death of Himeno. Denji wonders if he's a bad person for not crying over the death of Himeno. He thinks he would be sad about Makima's death for like 3 days if she does die.
If anything should happen to you, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably move on and get another replica, but there'd be a 10-minute period there when I would just be inconsolable.
Kos and Tendo come to see Aki. Maki wants Kishibe to train Denji and Pao. It's weird, but Sarakawa's voice actor plays both 2 blonde-haired teacher characters and 2 anime made by Studio Map.
If I had a nickel for every time I was doomed by a puppet, I'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice, right?
Kishibe gives Denji and Pao questions to see whether similarly. He likes the band so differently than most people. Kishibe can be as rough as he wanted with Pao and Denji since blood makes him white as swan. Kishibe is on a whole different level than Pao and Denji and starts to call him his playthings because he can break them. Like a Kit-Kat ball. Aki can't summon the Fox Devil anymore. Kucho and Tensho asks if it's time for Aki to call it quits. But Aki stays on because he wants revenge for his family and partner. Lady visits Aki in the hospital. Pao and Denji come up with a plan to be Kishibe because they thought of an idea to use their brains. Or thought using the brains would be a good idea. And also glasses equal smart, so 10,000 IQ over here. Power attacks using blood weapons through objects while Denji tries to sneak up on Kishibe. But we learn it didn't work, but it was a good plan. We learned that when Power uses too much blood, she becomes anemic. Kishibe gives the lesson of a beast shouldn't trust anything that the hunter says. Aki is going to make a new contract with the devil. Aki explains on his way to making the contract with the new devil that Gova visits him in the hospital as Himeo's sister. She gave Aki letters that Himeo wrote. Well, there's some things about like her dad being sick and we're like checking up on him. You see stuff like, I made Aki get his ear pierced, which does not make me like this character. But like the main focus was like, Himo was like, I don't think public sex is a good idea. I think I should go private with Aki. Which we kind of already got that thing previously. It's just that Aki now knows that's kind of more how she felt, even though she kind of already discussed it with Aki. But she's like, in the letter, she's like, Aki played off. So it's kind of like something everyone kind of already knew, but it's just more of her perspective on that specific situation. And the devil Aki's making a contract with is the future devil. I mean, I like a good training. Anything, and this was a good training something. So, like the episode. I mean, training stuff always is good. I like to see like our main characters or whoever gets stronger. So, but it's also, again, I love not expecting hearing his voice, but Sayakawa's Japanese voice actor, when I hear that voice, I'm like, man, I'm gonna love this. I've been blessed with that surprise over the last, 5 years, a lot. With, stuff like Boruto, My Hero Academia, Fire Force, Southside World Code Black, Jujutsu Kaisen, and now this. I love that man's voice. Yeah. Moving on to episode 11. The future devil wants to live in one of Aki's eyes in exchange for Aki using his powers to see into the future. Because Aki's death is gonna be for fucking worse. Crunchyroll, I'm calling you out there here, Crunchyroll. When it first was updated weekly, it said fucking awesome instead of fucking worse. They changed it for rare instance the Crunchyroll fixes this shit. Because there's a different connotation between your death gonna be fucking awesome than fucking worse. Totally different. Because it sets up like, well, either way it sets up how is this man gonna die, but the dread is worse with saying his death is gonna be the fucking worse. Because I'm sure I'm seeing the future devil has seen a lot of death in his visions. So by saying this is gonna be the fucking worst, is saying a lot. It has a lot more weight than just fucking awesome, man. Because awesome can mean fucked up too, but it could be some epic thing too. Denji and Power getting battle fighting. Kishibe says they're gonna be fighting for Katana Man soon. Kishibe is having a meeting with Magna. Kishibe thinks that Magna knew the attack that killed mostly everyone she knew it was coming. Kishibe asks if Magna has the best of mankind in mind, which makes me again adds to the thought process. I think she is a devil. Don't know what kind of devil she is, but I think she's something. Maybe she's an angel, because if you have devils, it makes sense you have angels, like in Supernatural. Like it was revealed, angels were weird. So I mean, maybe she's an angel. I don't know. I just think she's a supernatural being on some level. Maga says she wants to save people, but Kishibe doesn't believe her. Katana Man has a bunch of zombies thanks to his grandpa. Aki still wants to go after the Gun Devil, even though he knows he'd probably be out of class. Crows tells Aki that everyone who works in the special division in public sec is crazy, so watch yourself. Magna visits the Yakuza to learn that Satari has a contract with the Gun Devil. 20,000 yen for a gun and ammo. Magna wants the names of everyone in the Yakuza has a contract with the Gun Devil. The Yakuza says he can't do that because he was a war with all the Yakuzas, and he's like, we can't do that, but we leave Japan defenseless for all underground criminal organizations from different countries to come in, and we don't necessarily evil. But Magna is like, look, you're only using that to justify your shit actions, and the only necessary evil is people working for the government, okay? And so she pulls out a bag full of for Yakuza's loved one's eyes, probably maybe innocent people's eyes, but she pulls them out, and someone was trying to kill her, and then she just looks at them, and they die. Again, she is because I don't want to go too much in my monologue comparison from Naruto, because I'm currently reviewing Naruto. I don't want to get that way. But, let's go to the Frieza comparison. Again, I know I use this comparison by wearing Girlfriend Season 2 review, but it's again, before Goku goes Super Saiyan, the dominant force that is Frieza, during, the different stages of that fight. especially like Goku versus Frieza, like and like Vegeta versus Frieza, Final Form, like you feel the desperation and all that stuff. It's like that, like hopelessness. If you even think about going against Magna.
Oh, no, don't mind me. By all means, give me some ideas.
And Public Sec is currently running like Katana Man, hotel apartment building complex thing, and we get new characters like the Shark Fiend, the Violence Fiend, the Spider Fiend, and the Angel Fiend. All of them are cool. Aki isn't worried about touching the Angel Devil, who if you touch her, she would shave away out of your life. Right now it kills a bunch of people again from far away, presumably using the Yakuza as her ammunition. Saitari can summon something that the Saint Devil has eaten, like the Ghost Devil, so Aki's literally facing a ghost from the past. I'm making the obvious joke and editing, I don't give a fuck, I am. Actually I'm making two obvious jokes. Layups.
It's me, Kaiba, and this time you don't stand a ghost of a chance.
But I don't care. It's too obvious, too good. Seeing into the future is cool and all, but like if you don't have the skills to back it up, it's basically useless. It's a useless power. And Aki doesn't have the skills to back that up currently, and so Aki's being choked to death. This episode's okay. Like, I mean, again, Mommy Maakima, is scary and dominant. More ammo for that, so that's really it. Episode 12. Aki remembers a memory, which people typically do remember memories. Himeno giving him his first cigarette. The Ghost Devil we cut back to the present where the Ghost Devil releases Aki, gives him a cigarette that says easy revenge. The Ghost Devil sees space over the field, but says Aki doesn't feel it. He was able to kill it, no problem. Konoe comes out of nowhere and captures Saitari. Konoe says she saves for Public Sec because the bonuses are coming out. You know, $1 bill, yo. And then Pyro's fighting zombies and Denji just leaves her because she picked a pointless fight. Katana Man doesn't believe his grandpa turns into a zombie and Denji doesn't feel bad for killing him. Then Katana Man and Chainsaw Man fight. They find a train and rooftops. Kind of reminds me of Spider-Man 2 a bit. Katana Man cuts off Denji's arms, and Denji formed a chainsaw on his leg to cut Katana Man in half. After, like, Katana Man was too focused on Denji's head chainsaw. Which brings the whole another choice of a Hunter has to say for Ahsoka. Denji and Aki kick Katana Man in the balls for everything he did to them, which is a nice bonding moment, and so goes back to episode 2. Kick them in the balls, man. Public Sec has like enough flesh to track down the Gun Devil, and Saitari killed herself. Well, that's because of like a contract she has with the Gun Devil or not, who knows, but he's dead. And Denji has a dream of a door from episode 1 with Poochie saying not to open it. This episode is good. Nice bonding between Aki and Denji. Aki's character, this shows how important Aki's character is, because, or at least in the later half of the story, Aki's character is like the emotional core, because we focus on his revenge and how he's feeling more than anything else. Well, sure, we do focus on like Denji's feelings a bit. That's not the main focus, that's not the core of what we're focusing on. It's kind of Aki's core for the later half of the season, which is fine, it's good. Aki, he's not a bad character, but I'm not in love with him. He's cool, I like to see him more, but going back to what I said, like, fucking the bookend of episode 2, he really does remind me of Sasuke Uchiha. And I was just using that trio comparison to say, like, oh, how, like, the trio is, like, you know, how the interaction is kind of, like, similar in terms of, like, you got two extremes and one person in the middle to, like, balance them out. But, like I do hate that, like, every time, like, a dark-haired protagonist comes around, oh my god, it's Sasuke from Naruto! Like, he really is reminding me of Sasuke from Naruto. Like, he does. The comparison is there. And while that comparison still, I'm sure later on, Aki would definitely not fall into, like, Sasuke's path. I'm sure the path would be different. But currently, we're both on a similar track. You know what I mean? Of how those characters play out. So it's like kind of like, I can't help but think like I like that Sasuke character a bit more. But like, how Aki's win is not bad. It's not good. I'm just a bigger fan of how, I guess, comparison wise to how like Sasuke's would. But again, like, that's not saying Aki won't be, I wouldn't like Aki more of the future, or anything like that, or Aki's a bad character. Aki's an okay character, in my opinion. Even before I thought of, like, the Sasuke comparison, I thought it was okay. So, before, like, anyone says, oh, you just don't like him because you compared him to Sasuke, not true. I just had I like, but it's not a strong, like, feeling to him from the beginning. But Chainsaw Man is a good show. It's a very beautiful show. Animation, like, whatever we try to do with, like, the animation, again, I'm pretty sure we got, like, multiple studios to help out with animation. It was ambitious, it worked a lot, but, again, sometimes it fall flat, like episode 7, because sometimes it got really creative with its animation, like episode 8. Before I get to, like, final thoughts, let's go for the opening and endings. The opening is kicked back by Kenshin Miyazumi, and the endings are Chainsaw Blood by Van Zaki by Zulu Metal, Atari 2 Otaku, Senti by Maximum the Hormone, Joza by Tubo, In the Back Room by Sai Duo, Dante Tech Rendezvous by Kan Awa, Shun Terasuru by Ono, First Step by TK from Ling Tours, Single, Deep Down by Emblem, Dogland by People One, Violence by Z Uno Dashi, and Song 5 by Eve. All good. They did for her High School of a Dev, different ending songs for every episode. But Chainsaw Blood is my favorite. I have a bunch of the songs. But final thoughts, Chainsaw Man is a very good anime. It has a lot of great decisions in it. But the issue for it personally is I don't like a lot of the characters. One or two characters like Denji Magna. And like Aki is okay. Power is okay. But like everyone, and Himo is meh. But everyone else is just like, I either don't care or is a dislike. I mean, Katana Man is a cool, like, concept idea. Like, it's like similar to Chainsaw Man, but I don't feel like they did enough to like, like a mirror identity type stuff to like really put that concept off. But then again, it kind of, I won't even say that. I was about to say it kind of showed the Katana Man had more compassion a bit, but I was saying like he would give up if, depending on how Denji answers his questions involving his grandpa. But at the same time, it shows that Denji does care about people later on when Denji offered Aki to kick Katana Man in the balls. So I won't even say that. So it's just like, it's just like a similar villain. And then do like a character study on Denji, which we don't have to do. It just feels like a bit of a missed opportunity. But again, that's a hope, and nothing really knocking the show in my ranking at all. But like, I would give Chainsaw Man a 8 out of 10. So thank you all for coming out. This review is actually way longer than I thought it was gonna be. I'm gonna be completely honest. For 12 episodes, I've rambled on a bit. But I hope I explained my thoughts and feelings fully on this show, so people understand the thoughts and stuff like that. But I'd like to thank you all for coming out. It's been fun watching Chainsaw Man, to have no blind watch through. And if you like the video, or hit that dislike button if you dislike it. And make sure to hit that subscribe button for more anime reviews, thoughts, feelings, whatever we have going on here. I will see you all next time. Bye.